Welcome to La Vida Rosa. I'm your host, Pinky, and today we're going to be talking about Love is Blind Season 4, Episode 8. So if you'd like to see more, then just stay tuned, like, comment, and subscribe. And without further ado, let's get into this video. Y'all, I'm going to jump straight into it with Zach and Bliss. She said yes? Bliss, honey, baby, girl, I wish you would have never gave him the time of day, period. Okay? But if you do give him the time of day, at least make him work a little bit harder than that. He just proposed to Irina 2 dates ago. As far as you're concerned, I get it. They're on a show. They're in this whirlwind romance, okay? And she's probably getting all caught up in her feelings. Maybe a part of her does want to be on this show. I think he definitely wants to be on this show. For sure wants to be on this show. Because if he really wanted to be with her, why couldn't y'all just dip off and go do that off camera? I feel like that's one of the things he would have had to do for me personally. Is if I'm going to take you seriously, if I'm going to believe that you're being sincere, let's go do this just us two off somewhere, not have everything filmed. You know, you actually put in the work. You court me for a few months at least. But see, they will have to speed up the process in order to move into the apartment and get married in 2 weeks so that it can be filmed when everyone else's wedding is being filmed. So it's just feeling fake and contrived to me, not on her end, on his. But I just cannot believe that she is giving him the benefit of the doubt and accepting this proposal, especially with how awkward it was. Like, oh, girl, please stand up. Bliss, please stand up. Stand up. I love how it was pointed out that he proposed to 2 different women twice in a month. Embarrassing. Are you not embarrassed? I believe she just want to get married. Personally, her and Chelsea were talking about how they would be okay, like if in a few years if they didn't have anybody, they would have kids and they would just live in a community and raise the kids together. That's not what y'all really want. Y'all want to get married. Both of y'all are extremely lonely. I understand that, but that doesn't mean we just settle for just anybody. We all know that he's scared to meet her family because in the past his ex's family did not accept him because of how he grew up. His mother was a stripper. They grew up in poverty. He might feel like he's not good enough. I feel like that's why he didn't choose Bliss in the first place. So because of that, he's so scared to meet her father. I really hope the dad roasts and grills him real good because Bliss did not hold him accountable as much as he needed to be. They end up moving into their apartment. She says it's challenging because she's battling her pride of, you know, basically being second choice. And, you know, at some point she's like, oh no, I know I'm better than her. And he called her pretentious. Clearly that's a trigger for him because he feels less than because of his upbringing. So that was a trigger for him. He basically was trying to reassure her that he doesn't want Irina and he loved who he thought that she was. And she was like, well, that doesn't erase the feeling of feeling like I'm second best. And, you know, he's just being very dismissive of her emotions. I feel 2 ways. I feel like you should be going above and beyond to help her get past that feeling because this is all of your doing. You should have chose her in the first place, right? I also feel like Bliss is just going to be resentful of him in the long run, and really she shouldn't have accepted the ring until she was past all of this. For you to still be harping on it and dwelling on it means you're not over it, and why would you accept that ring and marry this man? And finally, when they went to Chelsea's birthday party and everybody saw that they were engaged, they were just really shocked and appalled. I think, like, you know, they had a group chat going about that. Like, ooh, Bliss, like, this is not a good look. Girl, that's embarrassing. But, you know, everybody was like, oh, okay. And then she's sitting down and talking to Micah. He just comes up and just start kissing her in the mouth. Like, girl, I was getting an ick. I'm like, why? And then she was like, you gonna get salmon in her mouth. I was just, oh, y'all, I don't see it for them. I don't think this is gonna work out in the long run at all. This is worse than Ayana and Jared. 10 times worse. I can't even believe the show allowed this. anything for a view. Let's move on to Tiffany and Brad. Not much went on with them. He made her some good looking food. She's getting kind of stressed about this wedding planning, and he's calming her down and saying like he sees their future together so clearly, so he feels no pressure about this wedding. It's all gonna work out. She also said that she just recently found out that her grandparents got married within 6 weeks of knowing each other, and they stayed married for like, I believe, like 50 something years. So that's a beautiful thing. I'm a hopeless romantic like that. I believe things like that can happen. It's not really realistic. I feel like for most people, it's not going to happen like that. But I feel like they're one of those couples that it really could work out like that. So I'm just so happy for these two. Cannot wait to see them get married, because I just feel like both of them are going to say yes. Let's move on to Micah and Paul. So he met her parents. This is their first time hearing that she's engaged, and she just threw it away like, oh yeah, I'm engaged. What? Her parents just seemed so caught off guard. They were so caught off guard, like what? But they roll with the punches. I don't know, her parents give enablers. Micah's made the best decisions up until now. It's whatever. I'm like, y'all are barely asking this man any questions. The dad just likes Paul because his name is Paul. Like, what can we get? Like, I'm all for your parents being supportive and welcoming of your partner, but at least act like you gonna ask the man some questions and like he gonna have to jump through a hoop or two first. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, they were a little bit too whatever you like, honey. Like, come on, like, ask the man a couple of questions. Like, she about to get married to him. During this conversation, she let them know that she was going to be moving into his apartment, which was a complete 180 from last episode. She was like totally against moving into his apartment, but maybe he has better rent or something. I don't know. She said she just gonna have to redecorate, child. Then they start talking about children. She says she wants to have an epic marriage before children. Girl, you sound 26. Later that episode, they went to her best friend's birthday party, and they all sat down and they talked to Paul, and they were having a very like mean girl vapid conversation. During that conversation, the friend Shelby, I think that was her name, Shelby, she said that her friend had single-handedly ended many of her relationships. And I'm just like, girl, you're way too involved. How you gonna end my relationship? I don't care if the man is trifling and he's no good. How you gonna come in and end my relationship? And they just said that like it was normal. He started using all these big words like complex. Like, that's when they started saying, oh yeah, you're very articulate in using big words, because he said the word complex. First of all, he's a scientist, so yes, he's going to be articulate, but y'all coming off as slow. I'm sorry, what? Her friend Shelby once again was like, yeah, I'm going to say some rude comments to you at some point, so you're just going to have to get used to that. Micah also was like, yeah, she gets mad easily. And he was like, okay, I can't say that I care. I was not mad at Paul at all. I was so glad he said that, because y'all are delusional, living in y'all own world, thinking y'all can do and say whatever y'all want to with people, and they're just supposed to fall in line. Who do you think you are? I don't care if this is your birthday. So he was just like, yeah, I can't say that I care. And she was like, you have the worst attitude, and you should care how my friends think. And I'm just like, not if they're rude and disrespectful. Like, honestly, you should check your friend. If my friend was acting like that towards somebody that I said I'm gonna marry, because I don't want you acting like that towards my friends, I would check him too. You know what I'm saying? But you're not going to be mean and disrespectful to my man just because what? Just because it's your birthday or just because you feel like it? No, I would have been checking her. The friend later on says that she doesn't like him and she feels like she deserves better. This isn't it. And she starts crying. And girl, you a hater. You jealous and you a hater. You are. I just get hater vibes from her. It would be different if the man gave her a reason to feel like that. But this is not coming from a genuine place. If she's that single friend that constantly always has something to say about your relationships, no matter who it is, and literally breaks you up from them, yeah, I'm not getting a good vibe from her at all. The only thing left is later on they were at Chelsea's birthday party. We're going to talk about Micah's behavior with talking about Kwame once again. Put a pin in that. We're going to talk about it. We see Amber walk in, and Amber was his other connection that he had during the pod process, and he just chose to just straight up avoid her. He didn't speak to her. He just avoided her, you know, completely, because, you know, he didn't want to start any issues. I guess it was already a big thing that Irina, you know, said that he was attracted to her. He doesn't want to bring in any more drama. Meanwhile, Micah stays entertaining Kwame. He must not see Kwame as a threat, because why do you have no issue with that, but you're going to steer clear of Amber? She really got him on a leash or something. That threw me off. You're not even going to speak. You're not even going to say hey. So next, let's talk about Kwame and Chelsea. This episode, they had a conversation about children and their future. And basically, she says she wants a lot of kids. She feels some type of way because she didn't picture herself as an older mother, but here she is. And then they discuss having children in 3 to 4 years. He mentions that, you know, he wants to enjoy their marriage first. He wants to be able to travel. You know, the fact that she has this job that's not remote and she has this dog, it makes it less flexible for them to even do what they want to do now, let alone you add children to that mix. And basically she was like, well, we can take kids on the trips. I'm like, girl, that's not the type of trip he's talking about. He ain't trying to go to Disney World. And she was like, well, we can hire a nanny to go on the trips, and there's homeschool. I can homeschool the kids. I don't know. I feel like they're on two totally different pages. I ain't gonna lie, she kind of living in la la land with that. Like, I don't think she's really looking at the full picture. She wants this ready-made family because she wants to be married, period. She wants a family, and she's ignoring all the red flags in order to get there. And Kwame, he is passive aggressively saying that he wants to wait. I wish he would just come out and say how he really feels. She asked him straight up, like, do you want to settle down? And, you know, are you sad to see this lifestyle that you're in now go? And he says that he feels like he's making most of the compromises, and he wants her to consider his feelings. And to a certain degree, I could see where both people are coming from. But I do feel like Chelsea needs to do a little bit more compromising. And I feel like he needs to realize this is what she wants. She wants a family. So if you want to be with her, this is what she wants. And maybe y'all need to look at that and realize y'all are not a good match based off of that alone. Not to mention you really want to be with somebody else. So at Chelsea's birthday party, he sits down and has a conversation with Tiffany, and he told her that their lifestyles are just so different. She works from 7 to 7. He works from home. He's watching the dog all day, and you know, he doesn't mind having the dinner ready, but the balance of the compromise is already off, and he feels like they won't be able to sustain that for years and years from now. I mean, I feel like there go your answer right there. You know, don't keep stringing this woman along when you already know this is not something that you want. And Kwame strikes me as the type that'll say no on that wedding day, child. So we'll see. But I don't know. Finally, we see him running back to Micah once again, entertaining this woman at his fiance's birthday party. Once again, she must have been somewhere drunk. I feel like if she saw this at her own birthday party, she definitely would have lost it, okay? You know, they're sitting up there basically flirting. And at some point he asks her, does she think that she made the right choice? I feel like that question alone is disrespectful, especially looking at where they are now. Like, y'all are engaged to other people, meeting each other's families, planning to get married in 2 weeks. Why do you think that is an appropriate question? Y'all stay kikiing, rehashing y'all relationships and what ifs and what could have happened. Just being overall disrespectful to your partners. It's trifling. She even tells him at some point, yeah, I worry about you and I have this very intense care for you. And he was like, yeah, I do too. And it's like, I feel like if he was with Micah, he would have no problem moving to Arizona. You have all of these stipulations. You're unsure with Chelsea. You don't know if you want to do this and that. I feel like if Micah told her the exact same game plan, he would go along with it head first. Period. And he trifling for it. That's another reason he should just leave Chelsea alone if you feel that way. And low-key, Micah needs to leave Paul alone. So finally, let's move on to this soap opera that is Jackie and Marshall. Child, they wore me out this episode. And specifically Jackie. They got in this huge blow up the night before. She told him he wasn't being a man and that he needed to boss up. He felt some type of way, so he left the home and stayed at his own apartment so that he wouldn't blow up on her. But he was very hurt by what she said. So when he came back to the house, he saw that she was packing. When he walked up in the house, the screaming started immediately. She was really upset that he left. She was originally mad because he's not aggressive and she wants him to initiate intimacy with her. It's not necessarily what you say, it's how you say it. The tone in which you said it can be a little degrading to his manhood and emasculating. And you have to watch that because Marshall is a very sensitive, soft-spoken man. So it's easy for you to put him in that category, but you shouldn't do that to someone that you love and care about. She also telling him she want him to be aggressive. He was just like, that's really not in my nature. You know, he's not like that. But when they're in the middle of their argument, he claims when he does try to be aggressive and he does try to go there with her, she immediately shuts him down and literally proved his point the next second when he clapped at her. What do you want me to do? You know, he clapped at her or whatever. And so she was like, who you think you clapping at? What she really wants is for him to go back and forth with her, hollering and screaming and arguing. She wants that toxic back and forth. That's what she really wants. She's calling it, I feel like she has a really toxic definition of what she thinks aggression is in a relationship. And it sounds like what you're looking for is more so abuse. Verbal. We see her in her confessional. She does not see how what she said could have been hurtful in any way. You know, she was just like, I didn't even say it in a derogatory way. Girl, what you said, you're not a man. Like, that's derogatory within itself. And she's making fun of the fact that he said, that's seared in my brain, I'm never gonna forget you said that to me. Like, she's literally like, I didn't even say nothing. You could tell she saw a lot of toxicity growing up and it's very normalized to her. He says that he tries to love on her. He tries to kiss on her and hug on her and things like that. But she never returns the favor. She never tries to seduce him. She never does anything to make him feel special because that's her whole thing. Like, we don't be intimate. And he's just like, well, I try sometimes and you never try with me. You never make me feel special in this relationship. I go above and beyond for you and you don't even try with me. And in the heat of the argument, he's like, basically, I've been patient with you because I see the potential in you and I see you basically as a project. I definitely agree that was the wrong choice of words. He was wrong for saying it like that. But I got what he meant. You know what I'm saying? It's easy to harp on the words that he used. She's never been in a relationship and she already said that she's emotionally available. He's very emotionally intelligent and he's been in relationships, so he know how this works. He immediately apologized for the wording, but he told her he meant that he just sees limitless potential with her and he wants to uplift and inspire her to be her best self. 1 minute she arguing and fussing. As soon as he said that, she snapped out of it, broke down, hugged him, and apologized. And I was over it for him. That's toxicity personified. Later on, for Chelsea's birthday party, Marshall ends up showing up alone. And everybody is like giving a side eye, like, where's Jackie? Where, you know, why is he coming in here by himself? And apparently they had another falling out. Side note, I love the conversations that the men have together, whether it's Brad and Marshall, Kwame. I love that they all can like really sit down and confide in one another and give each other advice. But he ends up talking to Brad. He said like he knew that, you know, she was going to be emotionally unavailable and this wasn't going to be easy, but he didn't think the self-sabotage would be this bad. He thought, you know, she would eventually come around, and he told him that she wants him to slap her around. In what way? Like, what? And he feels some type of way because she'll say stuff like, I F with you heavy, but she's never said I love you. At this point, he really doesn't know where he stands with Jackie. She ends up showing up to the party. She had this like low cut, back out jumpsuit on. She hugs everybody, comes over to him, gives him a hug. He made her put his jacket on because did she say she was cold? Like, did he just force her to put the jacket on? But she was like, no, it's gonna mess up my outfit. He was like, no, put it on. I don't want you to catch a cold. She ended up taking it off later, child, because she didn't want to ruin her outfit. It came from a good place, but like, don't force me to put no jacket on and mess up my outfit. But she did kiss him. Later on, Micah pulls her to the side and was trying to get the tea, basically. But Jackie shut her down real quick and like, you trying to get all up in the business. I don't care if we did show up separately. That's between us. I was here for Jackie shutting Micah down because you know she just couldn't wait to find out the tea so she could spread it. So Josh was there, okay? Josh was her other connection. She ended up choosing Marshall over Josh. Josh is being loud and corny and just doing too much. He's drunk. I mean, sloppy drunk. Marshall's having a conversation with Chelsea and Chelsea's like, who is that and why is he here? He was like, yeah, he always acted like that in the pods. Somebody need to send him home again. That cracked me up. Nobody in the room can stand him. Like, everybody is giving him the side eye like, ugh, what is he doing? Bliss and Zach, they over there whispering about him. Kwame was like, yeah, we was trying to get rid of him while he was in the pods and here he is showing up again. Like, can't nobody stand this man. Josh showed up to be messy. He didn't show up to really profess his love for Jackie or tell her that he truly cares about her. He showed up to be messy. He said himself that he wanted to lay it out to Jackie so he could stir the pot. So he went up to Marshall completely drunk, didn't even say hey or nothing like that. Like, literally walked up to him, put his arm around. I understand that Jackie made her choice. Like, just fumbling all on him, hanging all off of him. At one point saying, yeah, I'm Mr. Steal Your Girl. Marshall acted like he was going to get bucked in the pods whenever he was having a fight for Jackie's love. This is when you get bucked because he was doing the most. He did say to him that out of all people, if you could steal her, you could have her. He did say that to his face. And then Josh low-key called him out of his name. He called him a B. Oh, no, I love you. I love you. And was hugging all on him. That was just, I don't know. It was just so weird and such an awkward interaction. Like, I would have been so irritated. Like, I would have been so mad. I would have pushed him off of me so fast. But you know, Marshall, he's non-confrontational, really. You could tell he's non-confrontational. He didn't want to cause a scene. So he played it off. But when he walked away, he was like, what was that? Like, what was that? It was so weird. So then, once again, he drunkenly approached Jackie because he had already low-key approached her before. But he approached her again and they had a one-on-one conversation. And he told her he can't believe that he can't believe that she chose NBA Cryboy. I ain't gonna lie, I laughed too, but she should not have laughed at that. He claims that Marshall would cry over all the women and he didn't think that she would actually fall for the act. I don't know that I believe that. Maybe that's true. I would have to have somebody else from the pods confirm that. He said it was hard for him to see the one that he cared about with another man and that he put Marshall's feelings above his own. And I'm like, that makes you weak as a man. The whole reason why y'all are there is to fight for your love. Even if both of y'all do want the same woman, you just gave up. That's supposed to make Jackie want to choose you? Because you sound weak. You keep saying that Marshall is a crybaby and he's the weak one, but you easily gave up your woman to him. So what does that make you? And she told him, look, you never expressed any of these emotions in the pod. She never saw any of that from him. I feel like she tried to shut him down a little bit at the very end when he was like, are you gonna marry him? She was a little hesitant, and I don't know, I low-key could see Jackie dropping Marshall and entertaining Josh because they both seem like they're on the same level of immaturity and Water seeks his own level, and I could see that. I do think Marshall is the better pick for her, but I think that Jackie is not a good pick for Marshall. I think Marshall deserves someone who is as emotionally intelligent as him and is gonna treat him the way he should be treated, because he's gonna put the woman he loves on a pedestal and Jackie's not treating him like she loves him. So we'll see how this goes, y'all. We'll see what her response will be for episode 9. But y'all let me know what y'all felt about this review. Did you agree with me? Did you not agree with me? I would love to hear your opinion. And I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in my next one. Peace.